Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Calculus 2 Online. I'm your instructor, Sean. If you want to know more about me, when you log onto the Canvas page, you can click this About the Instructor button here. And it'll take you to a page all about me, to your interest. That's my dog, Penny, in the background. You might see her in the background of more of these videos. She likes to hang out here while I'm on my computer. So today I'm just going to take you on a tour through the Canvas website and let you know a little bit about how to get started for the semester. So welcome to the class. I'm looking forward to working with all of you. So when you log on to Canvas, it's going to look basically like this shared screen right here. And it's set up so that basically everything you need you can access directly from the first page you see. So this front page, so it says Calculus 2 Online at the top. You can always get back here from anywhere else by clicking this home button at the top left on the left-hand menu. This menu disappears. You can get it back by pressing this little 3 lines at the top left to get that home button. So at the very top, we have some quick links to the syllabus, to office hours, to some web work tips, and this About the Instructor link. So I'll come back to these 3 in a moment. Then the next thing is what we're doing this week. That will obviously be updated every week. And then below that, you can see a full schedule for the class, and that will include sort of all the links for earlier assignments, earlier materials, etc. So you can sort of scroll all the way down to the bottom. I want to start by going over a little bit about what this schedule is and what this class looks like. So we're in week 1 right now. So you see that here or under this week. We're in week 1 right now. And week 1 is a little bit different. Really, this first week is just about getting acclimated to online environment, getting familiar with the web work, homework submission system, and sort of getting set up to succeed in the rest of the class. So this week 1 is a little bit different. But then after that, every week, there's either each week is basically an assignment week or an exam week. So for example, weeks 2 through 5, these are assignment weeks, and then week 6 is an exam week. So in an exam week, you don't have any assignments, you don't have any new material. In an exam week, you just schedule a time beforehand to take your test in the proctoring center. And that's sort of all you have to do that week. So the first one is February 13th to 17th, that's week 6. The second exam is in week 12, it's March 27th to 31st. And then there's also a final exam on sort of week 16/17, and that's April 27th to May 3rd. So those sort of exam weeks, you just have an exam, that's the only thing. And I'm not going to talk about the exams too much more now. Eventually, you'll be able to schedule your session at the proctoring center using the Schedule Exams button. But I'll tell you a little bit more about that later in the semester when it gets closer to our first exam. For now, I want to focus on what's going on in these assignment weeks. So if you look here in the schedule, like week 2, we're going to cover sections 6.1 to 6.4 on logarithms and exponentials in the textbook. So you're going to have this, there'll be an introduction video for every week, just like this introduction video now. The introduction video is really important you watch it, or at least look over the notes that I'll post with it, because I'm going to give just a very brief introduction to the ideas of the section, but also I will make any logistical announcements. So if you want to sort of know things that are going on in the course, you need to watch that video. And I'll keep them pretty short, but that's sort of the first thing you should do every week. Okay, and then if you look down here, sort of like at this week 2, well then below this introduction video, so the video will be posted on Saturday morning. There's going to be an assignment. So the assignments are split into 2 parts. There are 3 links. For submission, there's part of the assignment will be due on web work. That's an online platform I'll show you in a minute. And then part of the assignment will be a written assignment that you submit using Gradescope. I'll say also a little bit more about that in a minute. But so the first thing you want to do after watching this introduction video is actually click this leftmost link, which will take you to a page that has all the information and resources you need to learn the materials from the relevant sections. So here, this assignment 1 is going to have this link here, the assignment 1, info and resources, is going to have all of the material you need to learn, everything you need to learn the material from section 6.1 to 6.4. So let's go ahead and we'll click on that. So when you open up this assignment, well, the page looks pretty much the same. Now we're talking about this assignment that's due on January 20th on logarithms, exponentials, and inverses. So up here, you see what the objectives of the assignment are, what you're trying to learn in these sections. I'm going to skip this for a moment, but I'll come back to it. Down here, you find the resources you have available. So there are really 3 different types of resources we're going to have typically each week. One is your textbook. So the textbook is very readable, and I encourage you to look at it. There are some tips about how to read the textbook that you can find in the syllabus. So this is covering, this week, this assignment is covering sections 6.1 to 6.4. So this is sort of next week's assignment, just a reminder. So it's textbook section 6.1 to 6.4. There are also some different video series you can watch to help you learn this material. So there's some official videos made by Marilyn Keir and Kelly MacArthur for the department a few years ago. You can sort of press this link to find all the videos for the entire class. And then each week I will post the relevant ones in here. So here you have, and there are 4 sections, and there are videos broken up into 4 groups. There's this video 1A and 1B on the first section, video 2 on the second section, and so on. These 4A and 4B, these are on the 4th section. And so for each video or pair of videos, there's also these pre-notes and post-notes. And I encourage you to take a look at that. Basically, these pre-notes you can print out and you can follow along with the video and sort of fill in exercises and examples as the video goes. And then the post-notes just shows you what it looks like filled in after you watch the video. So these are official department videos. They're a great resource for learning this material. And then there's also an alternate set of videos that really it's set up the same way. These are videos made by Matt Cecil a little bit more recently when he taught an earlier version of this online class. And again, it sort of covers each section. There are pre-notes and post-notes. And so this just gives you a different option to look at a different set of videos for learning the material. So for these, really, I encourage you to just explore what combinations of this material, reading the textbook, watching the videos, whether the official department videos or the alternate videos, you can explore what works for you to learn the material, but you have a lot of options in terms of initial resources to start using. The other thing that's on this page is these video office hours. So since we already have 2 great sets of videos for learning this material, I'm not going to record videos about every section. Instead, what I'm going to do is for every assignment, when you email me questions, when I see questions on the discussion board, when I see just common issues are coming up on WebWork, what I'll do is also make short videos that address those, and then I'll post them on the relevant assignment. So I'll post them right here in this video office hours section. I'll say a little bit more about that in a moment, but the thing I want to do right now is talk about WebWork and the written assignment. So the things you're actually submitting for each assignment. So here I'm on sort of this page for the week 2 assignment 1. If you go to the bottom, there's this link for the WebWork 1 assignment or the written assignment 1, or you can also get to these just straight from the front page. So here, assignment 1 was where we just were, this info and resources pages, and I can click this WebWork 1 or written 1 link. Let me click that WebWork 1 link. Yeah, sorry. So in the student view, sorry, this is locked because of when I'm doing this. Let me just leave the student view for a second, and you can see what this will actually look like. So this is your WebWork 1 assignment. And just this page doesn't tell you much. I mean, the key thing on this page is that you have this button, which will load the assignment in WebWork. So you click that button, and that's going to pop up a window that looks like this. So this is me logged in as the instructor view. So this is not exactly what it'll look like on your computer, but pretty close. So this first assignment that's going to be in week 2 has 27 problems on it. They're all sort of relatively short. And if you sort of click on a problem, sorry, I did that problem. Let me just pretend I didn't. So if I click on a problem, well, here it is. You sort of have to find the derivative of ln of so the natural log of square root of the 5th root of x. I happen to know the answer is 1 over 5x. So I can enter that in, and sort of it shows me, so I entered in text, and it shows me what that looks like as math. I can check my answer, and here it's correct. I mean, if I wrote something wrong, like I wrote 1/2x, so I preview that 1/2x. If I checked my answer, now it would tell me it's incorrect. And then, okay, so let me do 1/5x. That is correct. And then I'm done this problem. I've got the correct answer, so I just submit this answer, and it submits it, and you're done with that problem. You can go to the next problem and continue on. So this is pretty straightforward once you get the hang of it. And it's a little bit of a learning curve to get used to, but basically you just work these problems on a piece of paper, and then you enter your answer here, and it immediately grades it. You have infinitely many attempts. You can come back, you can log out and come back. You do have to log in through Canvas to get here, so you don't create a separate account for this or anything. You go straight through Canvas. But once you get used to it, it'll be pretty straightforward. One key feature here is that if you ever are struggling, you have a question about a problem, you don't understand something, if you click this email instructor button, you can send me an email directly from here, and that's definitely the right way to ask me a question about a WebWork problem, because that will sort of include all of the information about your past answer. Then I'll have access to all of your information about your past answers, exactly what you're working on, and so on. Okay, so that's what WebWork looks like. You don't make a separate submission for the whole assignment, so you just sort of submit the answer for each problem. There's nothing else you have to do to like submit the assignment. When the deadline hits, they'll just sort of take all of the problems you've submitted, and that will be your grade for that assignment. Okay, good. So let me show you something else. So I'm going back to the student view. If you click at the top here on this WebWork tips link, a lot of this information I said, plus some other extra information will appear that will help you sort of get used to using this WebWork system. So the first thing is sort of a list of commands up here, like tells you how to input like square roots and natural logarithms, hyperbolic signs, like all the kinds of functions we're going to be encountering in this class. This reminds you, you have as many attempts as you want. You can close assignments and come back. You submit problems individually. There's no full submission for the whole assignment. The solutions will be posted on WebWork an hour after the submission deadline. So if you go back to the assignment after the deadline, you'll be able to see what the solutions were for any problems you missed or didn't finish. Yeah, WebWork is linked to your Canvas account. You don't create a separate account. You just access it through that Canvas link that I showed you. One important thing, every time you complete every time you submit a problem on WebWork, it's going to update your grade for that assignment on Canvas. So, and I showed you that assignment you're doing in week 2, that has 27 problems. I mean, when you sort of submit each of those problems, it's going to update your grade on Canvas, and that's going to send you a Canvas notification. So that's a lot of notifications. That will be very annoying. I recommend you disable the grading notifications in your Canvas account setting, and that way you sort of won't get flooded with those. After this, generally, well, let me just say, in general, you don't need to use a calculator. There's a demo assignment for this first week where I'll talk about in a second, where you will need a calculator for some of the problems, but in general, you don't need to use a calculator. On the WebWork problems, you can sort of just enter in things that have like square roots and signs sort of written in them. So good, and in general, you shouldn't be using a calculator very much for this class. Good, and then here, just again, it's saying use the email instructors button to ask a question about a WebWork problem. And it's giving you some information about how to ask a useful question when you email me. Okay, so that's all I want to say about the WebWork assignments for now. Then there's a sort of other component in each assignment week where we have a written assignment. So for example, in the first week, or in the second week, and again, this is locked, so let me just show you what this will look like. So when you click this written assignment button, you'll sort of be taken to a page that gives you some information about it. Here's the PDF of the assignment. So it's just like a worksheet. There are 2 problems, each with a couple parts, and they're very similar to the WebWork problems. Just the point is, and since the WebWork only checks your final answer, this gives you a chance to sort of practice writing out clearly your answers, sort of showing all your work, showing your steps, and that's sort of the main thing you're going to be graded on these written assignments. And that's important to practice, not only just to help you learn, but also because there will be a component like this on the exams where you, it matters to be able to show your work and sort of illustrate how you're getting to an answer, not just getting the final answer like in WebWork. Okay, how do I close this? There we go. Good, so that's the written assignment. You sort of access this PDF. I really recommend, in fact, require, if at all possible, that you print this PDF and sort of just write your solutions on the PDF, then scan or take a photo. Or alternatively, and if you have an iPad, it's really easy to just sort of write directly on the PDF to write your solutions, and I encourage you to do that. If you absolutely cannot do either of those, you can go ahead and write your work on separate pieces of paper, but you should sort of set it up the same way as the worksheet. So like each problem should appear on a single page, like on the worksheet. So this like same parts of the problem sort of appear on the same page. After you've done that, you're going to sort of, however you've done it, you need to submit your homework, this written assignment through Gradescope. And so to open up Gradescope, you'll press this button right here. It won't look exactly like this. Sorry, this is sort of not fully set up yet. But Gradescope is the tool you'll use to upload this. And it's fairly self-explanatory, but just if you've never used Gradescope before, give yourself some extra time the first assignment to make sure you can get the submission set up properly. Good, but those are the written assignments. And so those are the main things we're turning again. In every week, every assignment week, you'll have a WebWork assignment and a written assignment. Good. So that's sort of the structure of the class. With these assignment weeks, you have exam weeks. For assignment weeks, you look at the info and resources, you look at the WebWork, then you turn in the WebWork assignment and you turn in the written assignment. And deadlines for the assignments are always Friday at 11:59 p.m. Okay, so I want to come back to sort of this week. So again, this week is a little bit special. We're not doing any math this week. We're just sort of getting oriented and set up. So if you look here, sort of there's no written assignment this week, but there is a demo WebWork assignment just to help get you familiarized with working with WebWork. So you'll do that one, and that sort of looks like this. There's just 10 problems. They're all really simple problems, like 9 times 2 minus 7. It's just a chance for you to practice working in this WebWork interface and see how you input things in here. Okay. Good. So that's the sort of demo assignment. But you should. So what you need to do is then look at this Intro to Calculus 2 online info and resources page and just go through the steps that are listed here. So that's sort of the big thing you have to do this week besides the demo assignment. So this just gives you some instructions for how to get started. So step 0 is watch this video you're watching. Great job. You're doing it. Step 1, there's this online learning readiness questionnaire that you should, I would really encourage you to go take that questionnaire and make sure that an online course is right for you. It's really different than an in-person class experience, and it isn't the right way to learn for everyone. So I would encourage you to take that questionnaire, and if you decide the course is not the best fit for you, to enroll in an in-person class instead. After that, read the course syllabus carefully. So it's linked to from the front page, but also there's a link right here. It's about 6 pages, but it contains all sorts of important information you really need to know. For example, about how things are graded, about sort of suggestions for how you can succeed in the class, and so on. So do look at that. Do read through that carefully. You will be expected to be familiar with all this information about the course and how it's run. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Back to student view. So read that course syllabus, and then the last thing you have to do this week is complete this WebWork demo. And then I would encourage you also to read through this. So this is just some suggestions about how you should approach the rest of the week. So in particular, what you should do in these assignment weeks. So each assignment week, you should start by watching the introduction video, in particular because this has the logistic announcements for the class. Then you'll see which sections each assignment covers. For each section, you should do one section at a time. So you should look at like the resources to learn that section, then do the WebWork problems corresponding to that section, and then do the written assignment problems corresponding to that section. And then sort of after that, move on to the next section. You don't want to sort of read all of the sections, then do all of the problems, then do all, and somehow that's not the best way to learn it. So really split it up into sections. I mean, note in each assignment you have a week to work on it, and it covers 3 or 4 sections. So you should get started early in the week. You should not leave this all until Friday and try to get it in. I mean, this is a 4-credit class, and that means you should expect to spend 12 hours a week working on it. So if you spend that 12 hours on Friday, you're going to be working for 12 hours straight on Friday working on it, and you're going to work much less efficiently. So it'll probably actually take you more than 12 hours. A much better way to do it would be to sort of break it up and sort of work 2 hours on 6 days or 3 hours on 4 days. And really the best way to do this is sort of just schedule, like put time in your schedule where you're working on this class. Like just put it on your calendar, put it in your schedule, and work at those times on this class. And if you do that, you'll find that you should find that you're able to get everything done and you're able to learn the material and complete the problems. And if you're struggling with sort of if you're struggling with doing that in just 12 hours a week, please let me know and we can discuss different strategies, different ways to help you succeed. Good. Okay, so then the last thing I want to point out is there's a lot of resources you can use beyond just this, like the info and resources that are posted. You can ask questions in the class discussion board. You can attend virtual office hours, and there's also a robust math tutoring center. So sort of look into all of this. In particular, let me say just a few things about office hours. I have these video office hours I mentioned. I'll take common questions and post videos, but you can also make specific requests for videos you think would be helpful. We'll have online office hours, not this week, but starting next week. On assignment weeks, they'll be Thursdays, and exam weeks, they'll be Saturdays before the exam period. These are going to take place on Gather.town. This is a little bit different than Zoom, but I find it works better. Go ahead and read through this and sort of, before you try to join office hours, just make sure you check that this is all working for you. I can also schedule individual office hours on Zoom, and then you can always reach me via email, via Canvas messaging, via this email instructor button in WebWork. And again, here's just some information about how you can do that. You can ask questions in an effective way. And then there's also this calculus tutoring center you can use. This is in the basement between LCB and JWB. Let me note, and the Calculus Tutoring Center also has online tutoring if you're looking for that. Okay, the very last thing I wanted to mention is that if you look at the discussions section, I have just one post. This is about study groups in Discord. Go read this post, and I would really encourage you to form study groups in the class. Or to like form a class Discord where you can chat with other people. I'm not going to be directly involved with the formation of these things, but there's some information here about how to sort of advertise these things, and you can use this discussion post. In particular, I want to point out that you can use the same Gather.town room we use for office hours for study groups if you're looking for a good way to meet online. Okay, that's everything I wanted to say. Again, welcome to the class. Spend some time exploring through this. Make sure you read the syllabus carefully and sort of do the other things in this Introduction to Calculus 2 online link. The WebWork demo is due Friday at 11:59 p.m. Make sure you finish that and turn it in. And then sort of the mathematics will get started next week. And I will post the introduction video for week 2 on Saturday morning. Okay, thanks. Have a good first week of classes.